morning, my dear students. I am teacher Aliaa Ashraf from Mansoura Royal School's Science Department. Our session today is related to grade 4. We're gonna continue our lesson, which is about the cell. In our session today, we will illustrate the functions of each organelle inside the plant and animal cells. But first, I will revise a point that we end our last online session with it. In our last online session, we said that the multicellular living organisms are humans, animals, and plants. And we classified them into two types. The first one, human or animal body, because it contains the same building unit, which is called animal cell. And the second type, the plant body, because it contains a different building unit, which is called the plant cell. So, if I want to define the plant cell, I'm gonna say it's the building unit of the plant body. The building unit of the plant body. By the same way, I can define the animal cell by saying it's the building unit of the animal body. The building unit of the animal body. Now we will turn to another point. Do you know the cells of one tissue are similar in shape and function, but they are different from the cells of another tissue? I will say it again. Do you know the cells of one tissue are similar in shape and function, but they are different from the cells of another tissue? For example, in plants, the stem cells differ from the leaf cells. As you see in this picture, the leaf cells circle in shape, as you see, while the stem cells rectangle in shape. Okay? They are in the stem cells. They are similar in shape and function. Okay? But differ from the leaf cells. Okay? Because the leaf cells, it's the cells of another tissue. Okay? It's the cells of another tissue. I hope you got it. And I will give you another example to make you understand. Also in humans, the lung cells differ from the liver cells. Okay? And they are different from the kidney cells and the brain or nerve cells. Now, we will describe the functions of each organelle in plant and animal cells. But, what is the meaning of organelles? What is the meaning of organelles? Organelle, it's the parts that cell is composed of. The parts that cell is composed of. If I take the plant cell, I will find it contains different parts, as cell wall, nucleus, a vacuole, and so on. If I take one part, like cell wall, I can call it an organelle. So, the cell wall is an organelle, nucleus is an organelle, plasma membrane is an organelle. Okay? And each organelle has functions. Okay? Has functions. These functions of each one of organelle we will describe them in our session. Okay? So the cell have parts. Okay? The cells have parts. Each part is called organelle, and each organelle has functions. We will describe these functions in our session. But before we will describe the functions, I need to know what are the differences and similarities between the plant cell and animal cell. We will find that the plant cell is characterized than the animal cell by the presence of cell wall, as you see in this picture, and also green plastids or chloroplasts. Okay? So the plant cell differs from the animal cell by having cell wall and green plastids or chloroplasts. Why the animal cell doesn't has this two organelle? Okay? Now we will describe the similarities between the plant and animal cell. Both plant and animal cell contain nucleus, cytoplasm, and plasma membrane. Okay? Both of them contain nucleus, cytoplasm, plasma membrane. That's it. We're gonna talk about the cell wall and its functions. Okay? The cell wall, it's the wall that surrounds the plant cell from outside. The wall that surrounds the plant cell from outside. As you see in this picture, this is the plant cell. Okay? And this part is called the cell wall. So I can define the cell wall by it's the wall that surrounds the plant cell from outside. Okay? What is the function of the cell wall? It has two functions. The first one, it supports the plant cell. It supports the plant cell. What is the meaning of supports? It's to make the plant cell more strong. To make the plant cell more strong. Okay? So it supports the plant cell. Number two, it gives the plant cell a definite shape. It gives the plant cell a definite shape. What that mean? If this wall takes a circle shape, so the plant cell will be circle in shape, okay? While if this wall takes rectangle in shape, so the plant cell will be rectangle in shape, and so on. So the cell wall, it's a wall that surrounds the plant cell from outside, as you see in this picture. Its functions, the first one supports the plant cell, that means to make it more strong. Number two, it gives the plant cell a definite shape. What about plasma membrane? Plasma membrane, as you see in this picture, it's found in both the plant and animal cell. This is the animal cell. The plasma membrane, it's the membrane that surrounds the cytoplasm. And this small points, the small black points, okay, is the cytoplasm. So as you see in this picture, the plasma membrane It's the membrane that surrounds the cytoplasm. Okay? What is the function of plasma membrane? Plasma membrane controls the substances that enter or leave the cell. Controls the substances that enter or leave the cell. It's like a boundary gate or gate, okay, between cell contents and outside the cell. The plasma membrane like a gate between cell contents and outside the cell. It allows substances to enter or leave the cell. Okay? What about the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the fluid that fills the cell. The fluid that fills the cell, where all components are suspended in it. The fluid that fills the cell, where all components are suspended in it. Okay? What is the meaning of fluid? It's a thick solution. It's a thick solution. A thick solution. Okay. What are the substances that cytoplasm are made up of? The cytoplasm composed of water, starch, and proteins. Okay? It's contained or composed of water, starch, and proteins. What is the function of cytoplasm? It's responsible for keeping organelles in their place inside the cell, or to keep organelles in their place inside the cell. What are these organelles? As we said before, if I take the plant cell, I will find it contains cell wall, plasma membrane, subvacuole, cytoplasm, green plastids, and nucleus. Okay? The cytoplasm is inside the plant cell. Okay? And is surrounded by plasma membrane, which is surrounded by the cell wall. The organelles that are suspended in the cytoplasm, okay, are nucleus, subvacuole, green plastids. So the cytoplasm keep this organelle in their place inside the cell. Okay, do you understand what are the organelles that cytoplasm make them in their place? They are green plastids, subvacuole, and nucleus, and so on. Okay? Now we will describe the nucleus. What is the definition of nucleus? It's the control center of the cell. The control center of the cell. Why? Because it organizes the biological operation in the cell. Because it organizes the biological operation in the cell and responsible for cell division. So I can call the nucleus, it's a control center of the cell. Because it organizes the biological operation in the cell and responsible for cell division. What is the meaning of biological operation and cell division? This is an additional information for you to make you more understand the lesson. Okay? The biological operation is a process or processes that occur inside the body of living organisms. So, the biological operation is the processes that occur inside the body of living organisms. Just 1 minute. Okay. What is the meaning of cell division? It means that the parent cell divides into two or more daughter cells. The parent cell divides into two or more daughter cells. Okay? This is the meaning of cell division by simple way. It's a parent cell divides into two daughter cells or more. So the nucleus, it's the control center of the cell. Their functions to organize a biological operation, which is the processes that occur inside the body of living organisms. And it's responsible for division, which is like the parent cell is divided into two or more daughter cells. What about the vacuole? It's a space within the cell that emits from cytoplasm and lined with a membrane. A space within the cell empty from cytoplasm and lined with a membrane. What is the function of vacuole? It's a storage bubbles because it's store food, wastes, water, starch, and protein. This slide is an additional information also to make you more understand our lesson. The function of vacuole and the definition of vacuole is are additional information. The vacuole is a space within the cell that emits from cytoplasm and lined with a membrane. Its function, it's a storage bubbles because it stores food, wastes, water, starch, and proteins. Finally, the green plastids or chloroplasts. Why the plastid is green in color? Because it has chlorophyll, which is green in color. So, why the plastid is green in color? Because it has chlorophyll, which is green in color. What is the function of green plastids? It's called a food producers. Because it's responsible for making the food of plant. By absorbing the sunlight or the light energy from the sun during photosynthesis process. So the green plastids, it's called food producers because it's make the food of plant by photosynthesis process. We will end our lesson by the green plastids, and we finished the lesson 3. I hope you enjoy it with me, and goodbye. See you next time.